The Hawaii State Sheriff is a division of the Hawaii Department of Law Enforcement. The Hawaii State Sheriff, while not an agency, is the primary state law enforcement agency within the U.S. state of Hawaii. The Hawaii State Sheriff is responsible for enforcing state motor vehicle traffic and criminal laws throughout the state of Hawaii. Their duties are just like any other primary state police just like any other primary state law enforcement agency. Those duties include patrolling state and interstate highways, responding to emergencies on state and interstate highways and state property, protecting important state buildings and state property such as the state capitol, protecting important state officials such as the governor of Hawaii, investigating crimes taken on Hawaii state property and highways, and much more. The Hawaii State Sheriff is a very unique agency as it is the only primary state law enforcement agency in the United States that is known as a state sheriff. Usually, primary state law enforcement agencies are known as, the state police, the highway patrol, the state patrol, not the state sheriff. And the reason why that is because the term sheriff typically refers to a county level law enforcement agency, which is why they added the state to the end of the sheriff, or to it's why the Hawaii Department of Law Enforcement chose to call it the Hawaii State Sheriff, not the Hawaii Sheriff, because that would confuse things. Anyways, as you could probably guess, Hawaii State Sheriff, people who work for the Hawaii State Sheriff are referred to as sheriff deputies, or more specifically, state sheriff deputies. Now, I do want to clear some common confusions when it comes to the Hawaii State Sheriff. First of all, it is not a county level law enforcement agency, or in other words, it is not a county sheriff's office that covers the entire state. That simply is not possible. It is a state level law enforcement agency that falls under a state department, or a state agency. Never mind. Another thing is that the Hawaii State Sheriff is the primary state law enforcement agency within Hawaii. It does count as a state police agency. Many people commonly mistake this and they say, "Oh, Hawaii doesn't have a state police agency," and it's totally not true. They have actually multiple state police agencies, but I think what they're referring to is the fact that Hawaii doesn't have an agency, a state police agency, a primary state police agency that is referred to as the common primary state police name, Highway Patrol or State Patrol. But they absolutely do, and that is the Hawaii State Sheriff. They are the de facto state police agency for Hawaii. They serve all of Hawaii. They conduct the same operations as any other primary state law enforcement agency. They are equivalent to the California Highway Patrol, Virginia State Police, the Massachusetts State Police, the Kentucky State Police, etc. The Hawaii State Sheriff has jurisdiction throughout the state of Hawaii to enforce state laws. This common question, why doesn't Hawaii have a state police agency, is really put in out of context because, like I mentioned earlier, Hawaii does have a state police agency. In fact, it has multiple. However, what I'm guessing people mean by this when they ask this is that why doesn't it have a standard state police / highway patrol / state patrol agency? And the true and most simple answer to this is because Hawaii is a group of islands, and it simply wouldn't make sense to call your officers state police officers or state troopers if they have no form of interstate commerce to facilitate. Of course, there are some forms of interstate commerce that Hawaii facilitates, including airports and seaports. But generally, there are no form of interstate there are interstate highways in Hawaii, but they don't connect to any state. Hawaii does not connect to any state or country, so it wouldn't make sense to really have state police conducting statewide enforcement duties. So yeah, the Hawaii State Sheriff does fulfill its duty, that duty, but not in the same way as most state police agencies do. The Hawaii State Sheriff trains its state sheriff deputies for 25 to 30 weeks at the Hawaii Department of Law Enforcement Training Academy located in Honolulu, Hawaii.